StoryTimeBus.
Welcome, children. Gather round and let's embark on the enchanting tale of Cinderella's enchanted ball. In a cozy house lived a kind girl named Cinderella with her stepmother and two stepsisters. Every day, Cinderella worked hard, cleaning and cooking while her stepfamily rested. She swept floors, washed dishes, and tended the fireplace with a gentle smile, even when her stepsisters complained about everything. Meanwhile, stepmother sat in her chair giving orders, while Drizella admired herself in the mirror, and Anastasia practiced dancing. They never helped Cinderella with the chores. "Cinderella, bring us tea," called stepmother. "And polish my shoes," added Drizella. "Mine too," whined Anastasia. Cinderella always answered, "Yes, right away." One morning, a royal messenger arrived with exciting news. He unfurled a golden scroll and announced, "By order of the king, there will be a grand ball at the palace tomorrow night. All young ladies in the kingdom are invited to meet Prince Charming, who is looking for a wife." The stepsisters squealed with delight. "I'll wear my finest gown," cried Drizella, spinning around. "The prince will surely choose me," declared Anastasia, clapping her hands. Stepmother smiled coldly and said, "One of my daughters will become a princess." But when Cinderella asked hopefully, "May I go too?" they all burst into cruel laughter. "You go to the ball?" sneered stepmother. "Look at your torn dress and dirty apron. You have nothing suitable to wear and far too much work to do. The floors need scrubbing, the silver needs polishing, and dinner must be prepared. You'll stay home where you belong." Cinderella's heart sank, but she nodded quietly. All day, Cinderella helped her stepsisters prepare for the ball. She curled Drizella's red hair into perfect ringlets, laced up Anastasia's corset tightly, and helped them choose jewelry. They tried on gown after gown, complaining about everything. "This color makes me look pale. This dress is too tight. Fix my hair again." Cinderella worked patiently to make them beautiful. As evening arrived, the step-family climbed into their fancy carriage, looking magnificent in their ball gowns and glittering jewels. "Don't wait up, Cinderella," called stepmother as they drove away to the palace. Cinderella waved goodbye from the doorway, watching their carriage disappear into the twilight. Then she was all alone in the quiet, empty house. Cinderella walked slowly to the garden, feeling very sad. She sat by the fountain and began to cry softly. "I wish I could go to the ball too," she whispered to the stars. "I would love to dance and wear a beautiful dress just once." Her tears sparkled in the moonlight as she dreamed of what might have been. Suddenly, a warm, gentle light began to glow in the garden. Sparkles of silver and blue danced through the air, and there appeared a kind elderly woman with twinkling eyes. "Don't cry, dear child," she said softly. "I am your fairy godmother, and I've come to help you. You shall go to the ball tonight." "But how?" asked Cinderella in amazement. The fairy godmother smiled and pointed her crystal wand at a large pumpkin growing in the garden. "Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo," she chanted. Magical sparkles swirled around the pumpkin, and it began to grow and change, transforming into a magnificent golden carriage with velvet seats and crystal windows that gleamed in the moonlight. Next, the fairy godmother waved her wand at 4 white mice scurrying near the fountain. "Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo! The mice grew larger and larger, transforming into 4 beautiful white horses with flowing manes and gentle eyes. Then she touched her wand to a fat rat who became a dignified coachman with a smart uniform and kind smile, ready to drive the carriage. "Now for the most important magic of all," said the fairy godmother with a warm twinkle in her eye. She raised her wand high and pointed it at Cinderella. Bibbidi-bobbidi-boo! Magical sparkles swirled around Cinderella like a gentle whirlwind, and her torn work dress began to shimmer and change into the most beautiful ball gown she had ever dreamed of. The magic completed its work. Cinderella now wore a gown of the softest blue silk that sparkled like starlight, with layers of delicate fabric that flowed like water. Her hair was arranged in elegant curls with tiny diamonds that caught the moonlight. On her feet were the most delicate glass slippers, clear as crystal and perfectly fitted. She looked like a true princess. "You look beautiful, my dear," said the fairy godmother proudly. "But remember, the magic will end at midnight sharp. When the clock strikes 12, everything will return to normal. Your carriage, horses, gown, everything except the glass slippers. You must leave the ball before then, or the prince will see you as you truly are." Cinderella promised to remember. Cinderella climbed into the golden carriage, her heart racing with excitement. The coachman tipped his hat and called to the white horses, who pranced eagerly. As they rode through the night toward the glittering palace, Cinderella couldn't believe this magical dream was really happening. The stars seemed to dance above her as the castle grew larger and more magnificent with every turn of the wheels. At the palace, the grand ballroom sparkled with hundreds of candles and crystal chandeliers. Prince Charming stood with his father, the king, greeting guests politely but looking rather bored. He had danced with many young ladies, but none had captured his interest. Then the great doors opened, and every person in the ballroom turned to stare at the mysterious princess in blue, who entered like a vision. The prince's eyes lit up with wonder. He walked straight through the crowd towards Cinderella, bowing gracefully. "May I have this dance, Your Highness?" he asked softly. Cinderella curtsied beautifully and took his offered hand. As the orchestra began to play, they glided across the marble floor like they were floating on air, dancing as if they had known each other forever. They danced together all evening, talking and laughing softly as if no one else existed. The prince had never met anyone so kind and genuine. In a corner, the stepsisters watched with growing jealousy, not recognizing their own stepsister. "Who is that mysterious princess?" whispered Drizella. "The prince hasn't looked at anyone else all night," complained Anastasia. But then the clock began to chime. Bong! Bong! "Oh no, midnight!" gasped Cinderella, remembering the fairy godmother's warning. "I must go." She pulled away from the confused prince and ran toward the doors. "Wait!" called the prince, chasing after her. "I don't even know your name." But Cinderella was already rushing down the palace steps. In her haste, one glass slipper slipped from her foot and was left behind on the marble stairs. The prince picked up the delicate glass slipper, holding it gently like precious treasure. "I will find the maiden whose foot fixed this slipper," he declared, "and make her my bride." The next day, he searched the entire kingdom, When he reached Cinderella's house, the glass slipper fit her perfectly. They married and lived happily ever after, ruling with kindness and love. And Cinderella never forgot that being kind and patient, even in difficult times, brings the greatest magic of all. Thank you for watching today's story. Remember to like, subscribe, and join us next time on the Storytime Bus for another magical adventure.